How good is like a Bat Rider for TSpirit right now?
I think they want to pick their carry right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like Lifestealer has been pretty popular in Eastern Europe so far. It kind of like goes along the theme of having your own sustain for the lane. Like if you're playing versus a melee hero.
True.
The magic community is great.
The only thing that scares me though is Parni have so much chain stun. Like a Lifestealer, if this DK gets blink, he will just die within the space.
Just get your rage off, lol.
Just
be good.
The instant stun.
Just have better reaction.
I mean, they have Infest combo too with Puck. Like
that's true.
It's pretty strong.
It'd be good for the game. Or they could just pick Terrorblade.
They're just going for damage. I mean, this hero was buffed. Versus Dragonite, at some point when you get the Scotty, you just tear through his armor. You don't really care. TV has like the most damage of any carry in the game.
Yeah.
Pretty boring playstyle, but Lina's quite good versus TB. It really just comes down to if Spirit makes space for TB, TB can carry game. Only thing I'm really worried about here is if he doesn't have a good lane, he has to go jungle. Now you have like this DK Lina snowballing their lanes and just pushing every tower, Roshan, and TB won't be ready to play the game.
Do you think that Spirit's lineup right now has the ability to create this space for TB?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It really depends on their laning, because Puck versus Lina I'm going to be looking at a lot to see who comes ahead in this one. If Puck has a good lane, gets some runes, he can, as any mid laner, like a Void Spirit or a Storm, doesn't really Ember. If you win your lane, get runes, you can actually solo carry a game pretty much yourself to make space for a Terrorblade or any hard carry. But if he has a bad game, and Terrorblade also has a rough game, then it might be hard. So laning stage is going to be really important in this one. And we'll see what Parni decides to pick for their carry, if they want to go like high tempo here and just really try to like push down objectives, which I think they should, because Lina's basically a hard carry type of mid. It farms a lot. I'd be a little worried if they choose to go for, you know, another hard carry to try and
hit the sniper. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah.
They banned Drow on TSpirit. Clearly they're afraid of these range carries. This is definitely a sniper game.
What you get? Imagine if it got banned.
You ever got banned? Lose my mind.
Is there anything else that comes to mind for that fast push carry that you want to see?
It doesn't have to be push. It just has to be like active.
Okay.
All right. And
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I wouldn't even hate like an Ember or something, depending on how they want to lane this. I mean, we'll see. They have to pick out of the gate, right? Parni.
T1, they played the carry DK. I don't see any reason why we can't just hit the carry DK here and just pick a Darks here.
You could.
That would be sick.
Yeah, I don't hate it. So like that would be fast tempo.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good for the most part.
What does that add?
It's just really good versus Terrorblade, right? More magic damage. You have the wall for the illusion, which is generally a good counter to Terrorblade.
Beautiful.
Other than that, they would have to blind pick otherwise a carry, which can be very difficult because it looks like they're giving Collapse last pick here. So whatever they do decide to pick here, Collapse has his choice to counter it with whatever's left in the pool. So all we can do here is just wait and see. There's only 20 seconds left. Very interested to see like what their mindset is going to be. Is like, do we need to outcarry the TV or are we going to be aggressive? I'd like to see the aggression.
What if they wanted to go out carry? What would they be looking at?
Morphling or something? Oh, that hero is a very underwhelming pick because like they're taking the middle ground here.
Yeah, Monkushi's second most played hero is Wraith King. So I guess this is just his like comfort over something that's maybe more specialized for winning the game.
Seems like that's just the type of player he is, just like a hero puddle player.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting the vibe of, sadly.
Because Wraith King is not good versus Terrorblade.
Yeah. Lycan though, last pick for you. Are you excited to see that one for you?
It's very good versus the Lina. Versus the Wraith King lane. I mean, Lycan got buffed. I'm always a Lycan fan. I love playing the hero. It's not like the best Lycan game in the world, but it is a good Lycan game.
You disgust me.
Two people who don't disgust me are our casters, and they're going to be joining us so we can hear their thoughts. Aries and lizZard, how are you both? Aries, if you want to start, tell me how you are, and any thoughts on this draft?
I'm doing very well post Stockholm, so recovering from that. But
Yeah, doing well. I'm intrigued on how the draft is able to set up. You know, Pari Parni, they've gone for a kind of trio core lineup, especially with this last pick on the Wraith King, kind of a harder carry, but we'll see if it's going to be too greedy or not, if TSpirit can close this one out with the Lycan.
And how are you, lizZard? Give us some thoughts on your thoughts on this draft, and also just how you are. We haven't seen you in
lizZard,
so long.
I'm a huge fan. I love you.
We've missed you.
Much love to you, beautiful people. I'm doing fine, doing great. Didn't go to Stockholm Major like most of you did. Watch you from distance. No, I'm hyped for the game. Really, I haven't been casting Eastern Europe for a really long time. People that I've played against in pubs and still play with quite a bit, so I get to flame them now. You know, it's a good change.
Well, we're very excited too as we are jumping into game one. Please, Aries and lizZard, take it away.
Thank you very much, Nat. Yeah, lizZard, here we go. Game one, the reigning TI champions. TSpirit, they didn't have a good showing at the Major, finishing 9th and 12th. This is going to be their first series here in Division 1 for 2 or 3. But the lads that they are versing, ex-CIS rejects that were just picked up, now renamed, which is going to be exciting to see how they can play under their new organization, Pari Parni. lizZard, how are we feeling about this game?
Please, just pronounce their name one more time for me, for a Slav boy.
I can't. Come on, leave me alone. I can't roll my R's. You know this.
You have to go strong, comrade.
I'm not even gonna try. We'll go Pari Parni.
30 seconds.
Pari Parni, sure. Yeah.
Pari Parni. There's no R's getting rolled. Nothing like that. Nothing crazy. We can go P Parni. We go a little bit crazy with that, but I'll leave the rolling of R's to you.
The P Parni. It's good. It's good enough. Yeah. What do you think about the drafts? Do you like them? Are you expecting a hype match, or is some side, like, I don't know, in your opinion, a bit more advantageous, perhaps?
I'm excited to see how this Lycan's able to shape up, honestly, for Spirit. And in particular as well, we got Miposhka on the Rubik, so some staple heroes for TSpirit. I've always been, like, when I'm looking in regards to position 3 and kind of how to play and the hero pool and what the meta is, Collapse is that #1 person you are looking to. I mean, he just had such an incredible run at TI, and we saw him in the past too as the Spirit Breakers. Of course, he continued with the Mars. It really diverse hero pool and was just able to take over games. So I'm excited to see how this Lycan's able to shape up personally, but I don't know. I don't really have a favorite in this game one. Do you, with how the draft is set?
No, not really from the draft. Maybe from, like you said, from the history of these two teams, right? Even though TSpirit hasn't been that great recently, they're still TSpirit, and you kind of give them an advantage, right? Just from the names. From the Lycan, I was looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, what will he build? I click on the hero, I see Helm of Iron Will already queued up. Disgusting, nothing more to look at this lane. That's it.
So you're out of bottom. You've had enough. You don't watch Collapse on the Lycan.
Man, this was never a hero. Like, I love playing Lycan, right? It's easy MMR. It's literally free MMR anytime this hero is in the meta, because not only are you a strong core that can take fights, you will also take objectives. So if your team is dumb, like, you can always take towers. If your team is smart, you can fight with them. But as a support, it's never fun to play against. So yeah, no, not the biggest fan. Let's put it that way.
What lane are we going to be looking at then? If we're avoiding Collapse on the Lycan, is the mid matchup for a Toronto Tokyo against the Press Kid? Do you feel like this is going to be a little bit more one-sided, or even top lane? Is there going to be some more action up there?
I think it should be quite solid for the Pressed Kid on this mid lane. Most of the time when I see this lane, I kinda expect her to be the true one carry, and that's something that we talked about it during the draft. I see a similar thing happening here. Wraith King just being that frontline beast with Phase Boots armlet or something, and Lina really dishing out the true damage. But when it comes to, like, where's the first blood gonna be shed? Not sure. There's a lot of tank on all of these lanes. Like, on bot you have Io healing you up, on top lane Dragonite is barely killable. If there's no meta, probably unkillable. So someone really has to be out of position for that to happen.
I feel like maybe that person to be out of position is potentially Miposhka on the Rubik. You're against the lane with a double stun. If you can kind of catch him out in around the tree area. Then Heaven gets a bushwhack, Pasha can close the distance, and then all of a sudden, you've got plenty of damage being pumped into Miposhka's. Well, we see it at the moment. Pasha and Heaven happy to actually trade versus Miposhka and Yatoro. Like you mentioned, whenever the Metamorphosis is on cooldown, the TP's damage is going to be lacking.
Yeah, and you have Breathe Fire as well. You reduct that for 25%. Like you mentioned, double stun. I don't think we'll see it very early on, just because you know you want to get that passive up as well. So basically, we have two Dragonites on two lanes. You have this Dragonite with Dragon's Blood on top, and you have Lycan that already bought a Helm of Iron Will on bottom. So it's like,
well, it's a really good thing to mention now as we transition to this new patch and building on the meta in 7.31D. What was really your outlook on the big changes of the patch?
Oh man, I'm still learning really. Like I have to say and admit that I expected more out of the patch. I don't know why. I expected something massive, and it was just a balance change. There are some different things, like Sheepo was talking about some mid lane pudge. And I understand Sheepo, she's the same like me. Like, it's my kind of a person. She always like these... She's a Meepo spammer, I'm a Meepo spammer. We understand each other, like, deep inside the soul, you know? Like, you have to be broken in a certain way to do that. So I can see that one, where she's coming from with the pudge. But, will we see it? Not sure. I'd love to. I'd love to see some Bloodseeker with that axe as well. Some Pudge eats a Bloodseeker with the axe, runs around, kills people. Some fun combos.
Yeah, for me, I'm also just looking at kind of the adaptation in regards to carries and also the position 5. So we're going to get some carries that are a little bit more self-sustainable. You know, the jugs being something that people are experimenting a little bit with. We see the Wraith King built-in sustain. You just mentioned the offlane as well. Dragonite, very sustainable. Lycan going for the Helm. Maybe the position 5s who get a bit more Witch Doctor, a bit more Warlocked. So it's
more
just going to be
headdresses.
Interesting. Yeah, exactly. More headdress as well. Maybe changing in regards to the itemization.
I just have to say I love how I'm the analyst here, and you ask me what do you expect. I'm like, some fun Pudge eats a Bloodseeker with eggs, you know, let me see some stupid shit. And here you are, you're like, how do the carries adapt to the lack of regen from Healing Soul? Oh my god, let's do some spreadsheet here.
No. There's always time to speak about the carry Pudge and the flex that we could see come out. I mean, unfortunately, Liquid weren't able to take their game with it, with Martu playing. We saw in Southeast Asia, they were able to win. But so far, we've got a game with no kills. There was an attempt put on mid. Heaven tried to rotate with the Hoodwink, but it was a really nice scan from TSpirit. Probably Toronto Tokyo was the one sniffing that out. So for me, with the position we're in, my eyes go to the 6 minutes with the power runes. This is really where maybe the mid laners could get that edge to find an action rune and set up in the
like
side
this
lane.
Lina?
Like this Lina, Depressed Kid. You got the coil available if you want to consider dropping on Toronto Tokyo. But Radiant, they've also got the Laguna Blade as well as Depressed Kid cuts down the Rubik. Miposha giving up first blood, and Depressed Kid is going to be loving his start as the position 2 Lina.
Yeah, a really good start. Not only is he like what 15, 20. Okay, he might die here though.
All right, Coil into Cookie Mirror, a great rotation. The rebuttal comes out from TSpirit. It is showing though that you take a look at the network. The Lina is very far ahead of the puck, but this is a great way to get Toronto Tokyo back into this lane.
Bottom lane, he should be fine, right? Collapse here with the Helm of Iron Will. It's nighttime. Bye bye, people. I have 15 regen. Yeah, nothing wrong here. The move from Lina actually boggled my mind a little bit, because you know that you didn't take the rune, right? It wasn't on top. You got that kill, you're 50% HP, you still go just 10 mid, and you don't have vision on the bottom rune. Perhaps he had... Nah, he didn't. So you didn't know if they got invis, if they got haste, if they got double damage or whatever. It was such an easy kill to set up, but... Yep, he's still on top of the network chart, so... doesn't mind way too much.
How are we expecting the position 2s to get involved through this slower paced game at the moment?
It depends what Lina builds, right? It's always like that. As I can see, he's going for travels first, which will Mira bottom lane. Yeah. Nice
cookie placement. Just gets over the edge into the river.
So basically, you always kind of expect Puck to rotate a bit more, to do more on the map. but depending on the way Lina builds, like she can do the same. Like in China right now, they're even building BKB first before travels,
Okay.
which isn't always that great, as you can fall behind really fast. But it also allows you to fight every single fight. So I like the travel build up. I think it's optimal.
Especially in this game where you have an IO, like you're looking for that setup on the side lane to be able to have, and even another person with a +1. Feels like IO lineups really thrive on pickoffs. Of course, this hero doesn't have the toolkit of team fighting.
Radiant are scanning.
The global presence is really, really there, like you said. With the travels, with the IO. It's also on Dragon Knight, really, on the side of Pari Parni. One thing that they don't have is built-in initiation, right? So you need this DK with a Blink Dagger, you need him to actually set things up, and then Relocate can come in. They didn't really manage to pressure the top tier 1 so far, but they will try now.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Spirit have already taken bottom, so this is going to open up the map for them. Probably not going to see Collapse rotate top, not a like, and he'll keep putting some pressure on bottom, but this now will definitely... It will give Team Spirit an option at least to bring some more numbers top if they want to defend the tower.
Yeah, they actually cancelled the TP on Toronto Tokyo top. So this makes me think they will sack the top tier 1 tower, leaving Poshka there, and then rotate the Lycan towards mid lane, tier 1, not down bottom. Like, you don't have to go for that tier 2 so early. And they can do that, in my opinion. It's a very simple execution to just collapse on this mid lane, tier 1.
See Radiant. There's a really cool observer board set up though from Radiant. Parni inside their jungle, scouting out Mirror and his rotation. Top lane, they are to Poshka though. Saw the Dragon Tail, and the Elden Dragon form is actually going to expire from Posh, so they will not be able to get the Rubik that is continuing to play this dead lane.
Yeah, it's a solid play from Poshka so far. Like, as long as you're staying alive, he got 6 1/4. This is perfect. You're defending the tower. You're preventing DK from leaving the lane. It's really where you want to be. Steal the Breathe Fire, just spam it out. This is golden for Miposhka.
look at Heaven in the jungle. Just in front of Yutora, just wanting a high five, maybe trying to steal one of the big creeps as well. Get a little bit of experience. I mean, Heaven, he doesn't really have much to do right now without the Elder Dragon form on Pasha.
Aris, tell me this. So, Ares, we already got a squirrel, right? In this game. We got some animals. We got a lot of Aussies. We got a lot of Aussies now in the scene.
Don't go.
When are we getting a kangaroo? a kangaroo kickboxing kangaroo. When are we getting that? Like, what's wrong? Why can't we get a kangaroo? Like, what is this like Euro America-centric animal style? Like, we need some diversity. We need some kangaroos here, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm all for kangaroos. I'm all for it. I mean, I told you we were able to ride kangaroos. Of course, that was the way we were able to get to school quite often.
I guess we already have a brood mother that's Australian.
Well, sure, if you want to say
and
that.
And Venomancer as well, I guess. There's also that.
Okay. Oh, somehow Spirit, they took a tier 1 tower mid and there was no contest at all from Parni. The nice rotation from Yutora with the Metamorphoses, and Parni, they were just content to give up the tower. And I guess this is maybe the issue with their lineup. Like, it is, you do have this 3-core lineup, especially with the Wraith King last pick. So, and Munkushi, he's working to a Desolator, so it's not like it's an armlet blink kind of item build from the Wraith King. He can't really get too active.
Yeah, that's why I expected. Remember, top lane Hoodwink, this should be a dead little piggy? Probably.
He's making it work for it. No, we didn't get over the river. Oh, that was close. He made it work for it.
He had time. Like, even he had time to use that ulti to get over the river. He just panicked a little bit at the last moment. Unfortunate, but yeah. You remember, I was thinking they would go for something like an Ember last pick.
Yep.
Even with the nerfs, I felt that it would be good as it's more active and it allows you to deal with the TB and then subsequently with all the summons from Lycan too, but Wraith King is really greedy. I think one mistake so far from Pari Parni, or inaccuracy maybe, is they didn't rotate their full force on top lane early enough. I felt like perhaps that they should have done that just to get this Rubik. I mean, Poshka, when you see this as a player, you hate it. It's like there's this position 5 Rubik sitting on top, and you can't do anything about it. Like, you understand me? Like, you're losing control on one side of the map, and the other is being held by a Rubik. He's like 300 here. Like, this is Sparta. I'm not letting you go. I don't know. It's you shall not pass or something like that. It's ridiculous.
You take a look at his net worth. He's the top net worth out of all the cores. Again, Miposhka loves the Rubik, and there's some pretty good abilities to steal this game, and he's just continuing to soak up top. So it's going to be interesting to see his impact come the kind of mid-game with the farm and experience that he's been able to accumulate. But one thing you did mention earlier is that for Pari Parni, their lineup, it really is unlocked when Pasha gets a blink. They don't have a natural way to start fights or initiate, so this blink dagger is really what they're waiting for.
And he's getting really close. 200 gold away. Once he gets that, we should most likely see some move towards mid lane. But will it be too late? Because Puck already on the bottom lane. Never mind, he's out.
And they do have a good cliff ward that's scouting out Toronto Tokyo. Hey, look at this with Poshka's like, all right, top lane. It's time for us to leave. Feels like TSpirit believe they're in a position to maybe get some brawling done, or especially Claps. Look at this. Already the Helm of the Overlord completed on the Lycan, so yeah, they want to take a fight.
What's your favorite ancient to like have?
You can't go wrong with the Black Dragon. That's I mean, I know it's a while ago, but we saw what 33 could do with the Overlord and that Black Dragon.
Do you have dragons in the land down under?
No, we don't. Mid lane, Wraith King. He's going to try and turn on to Miposhka at the moment. Pasha reveals the blink, so a 1-for-1 Io, Rubik, both being expended from either side. Wraith King's going to try and close the distance on Mirror. But look at all the space. This is a tier 2 tower claim 14 minutes in from TSpirit.
Yeah, Metamorphosis has been used down on the bottom lane and you didn't fight it, but then again Dragon Form has been used, so all in all you just lost a tier 2 tower for nothing, right? It cancels out. The two supports, common denominator, they cancel each other out. You get this tier 2 that's remaining, and a good win for TSpirit overall for map control. And what do you mean you don't have dragons? Don't you, aren't they from?
No, I mean, Harry Potter, if not Harry Potter, sorry, Lord of the Rings, something like that, is based in New Zealand. So, and you're looking to get medievalist, then yeah, that's New Zealand. But I can say with almost certainty that they do not have dragons as well.
I don't trust you. Like, I haven't known you for long enough, but Blink.
Jump in. They're on the park with the chain control. Nice cookie. Repositions Toronto Tokyo to the north. And now Pari Parni, they got deep inside Spirit's territories to press kid. A BKB charging to the north. They'll cut down the life of Miposhka. But now to the west, look at Toronto Tokyo. Onto Pasha they go. They got plenty of damage to rip apart Pari Parni. And in the end, that was a fight that Radiant were looking for. Meta on cooldown. BKB picked up on the Lina, but they just weren't able to take the fight on their terms.
You know, this is one of those games as well. When you look at Lina, you feel, okay, this hero is a scary core. But you're playing into a Lycan. Right? In a game such as this one, even with the BKB, he just runs you down. Did you see what happened to Dragonite? Like, that wasn't a dragon, that was, I don't know, some frail bird. He just disappeared. Collapsed, got on top of him together with Yatoro. His armor disappeared. Unfortunate, really, for Pari Parni. This game is looking to fall out of control very soon if they don't make some really good smoke rotation.
For me, if they can withstand this next fight with Aegis and Meta, then they might be okay. Because you still got Lina top of the net worth, and Munkushi as well, and the Wraith King is farming exceptionally well.
Lina?
He's got Deso completed.
He's got the BKB.
Toronto Tokyo is going to jump. Lina's going to be okay. Can always use the BKB if required. So Toronto Tokyo is going to try and deal with immersion instead. The glob's raining down, but they don't even get anyone. Toronto Tokyo is still hunting, has the haste, the abilities back up shortly. He's going to dive. Why not? With how low the Ari's health pool is, there's no threat. Or maybe there is. Pasha jumps in, but Cookie once again repositioned to the north, and Toronto Tokyo will get out of danger.
They actually didn't know You don't count everything, right? Like sometimes you don't count the exact timer of a BKB, so they didn't know that Lina had it on cooldown for 20 more seconds. Then again, you have to kill Wisp first anyway, so he goes for the IO, gets out, Dragon Form also baited. Like, you're talking about them surviving the next couple of minutes. It will be helpful to survive, but I'm not sure if they're getting much stronger. Like,
Okay.
Their next items that they are buying are Blink Daggers. Lina is buying a Blink Dagger, actually has it. Wraith King also going for one. So you'll have 3 Blink Daggers on 3 cores, but will you be able to utilize them? We'll see. Someone like a Puck is very susceptible if you get double stunned.
Lane, Toronto, Tokyo with the dive. Easy kill, especially with Bapoka's damage from afar. Man, Fade Bolt and the Soul and Dragon Slave is just so much damage output from a support.
Yeah, they're just snowballing across the map. Their 2 cores are still on top of net worth, by the way, Lina and Wraith King. But that's mostly because they're not fighting at all, they're just split pushing. Dragonite.
These towers, though, they can't stand to protect them on Pari Parni.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What would you do? How do you protect this?
Hang on, don't ask me. What? I'm supposed to be asking you. Come on.
When I have this is my they're going in.
Kushi.
Use those
Nice
blinks.
reactions. Toronto, Tokyo. It's gonna be okay. They've got the Ward of the Hierarchy on Toronto, Tokyo, playing them like a fiddle. They've got no answer. Another Mortimer Kisses getting dropped on Pasha. No BKB, nothing to protect him on Immersion. Comes in, but meanwhile, Munkushi's already lost his first life, and he might be killed off for a second time as TSpirit running a rampant in the mid lane. They have no answer as Heaven might be able to scurry away. Immersion's going to give him some bonus health back, and it will not matter. Miposhka all the way from the high ground, thanks to the keen optic and the Aether Lens. This Rubik is sniping them down.
Yeah, thanks to that Aether Lens that he farmed on top lane for 10 minutes without interruption. Yeah, really nicely done by Puck, jumping on that high ground, silencing both of them, playing them, like you said, like a fiddle. 2 stuns. Who cares? It's a Puck. Like, you're not never stunning him. Plus he's buying a Linken's. Once he gets that Linken's, Dragonite and Wraith King, that's all.
They scanned Pasha in the tree line. Mass TPs are coming out, but Yatoro, he's got the Metamorphosis still for the fight. They might be able to blow him up, but they're going to turn their direction to the Snapfire instead, as in goes the Wraith King. Yatoro's going to have an opportunity to turn with the Sunder. Now with the Wraith King, he still doesn't have the Reincarnation. They're going to bring him down, and now this is a fight that TSpirit, they want to keep going. They know that everything's been expended on Pari Parni. Core's going to be laid down. I don't think it got Heaven. No.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Yep. Pasha trying to defend with the Fireball, meanwhile Lycan pushing with the Fireball. Fire on fire, it cancels each other out, no damage stealth as everyone knows. Right?
Sure. It doesn't look like that's the case, but I mean, if you're going off what should happen, then understandable.
Do you think the Hex on Lina is... Like, I see this Hex as an additional way of dealing with the Puck, perhaps the TB, before he Sunders, right? But, okay, he doesn't go for it. That's... Whew, nice. I like this way more. Like, I like the damage. Just pure damage. Can't win Dota without damage. Who cares about stuns and everything else? Just, no, in their case, they're really lacking, especially because of this build with the Blink. I think Lina needed it, as if you don't get the Blink, you're just free meat. But with the Blink and then into an MKB, you can dish out some significant damage, perhaps even kill off the TB in the control that your other cores are giving.
I think the concern, though, is now Yatoro has Ice Skadi. And this is an exceptional Skadi game, but we'll see how it's going to shape up with this fight occurring.
Smoke up.
Presky, he's going to jump and start the fight. Lacuna Blade solid from Miposhka, so already Presky just lost half his health pool to play with his engagement. Immersion's gonna do his best to keep him healthy. Always has a threat of the relocate to use it defensively, but Maposhka jumps in again on the Rubik, and no, the relocate was too late, and they're in shambles now. The formation completely broken. There's nothing they can do to protect the second life of the Wraith King. It just has to stand there and take the beating, as now they'll chain this into Immersion. He returns and sent straight back to his grave as TSpirit. Again, just another fight where they are running over Pari Parni.
Questionable, maybe. You have Dragonite, you have Wraith King with Blink Daggers. Not sure why Lina jumps in first. Interesting. You know, when you don't want to flame something as an analyst, you're like, that's very interesting. It's an interesting play. I haven't seen that one before. Very nice. I'll keep an open mind for the next time. But no, really, like, he jumps in, he just evaporates, you saw it. He thought maybe Io is going to save him and they'll reset, which is a possible play, but it's just making things harder.
Tier 3 tower under siege, and what do you do if you're Pari Parni?
I don't look back. So, meta is halfway done. Maybe they can re-engage, but when is Rosh? Rosh could respawn in 40 seconds, so if you're TSpirit, you can just take this triangle area back, farm it up, wait them outside. You don't have to pressure, you don't have to go high ground, but in all honesty, I think they can. Like, they're completely capable of taking a full side.
And good luck killing Toronto Tokyo now. Puck's got the Lincolns, so even the threat, if you consider going Hex later on, even screw the Hex, you got Dragon Tail, which is your main form of initiation. You have Wraith King with the Wraith Fire Blast, and if there's ever a stage where an Abyssal Blade's a consideration, so I mean, Toronto Tokyo is flawless this game, 6-0-5. All their cores are flawless, so TSpirit are looking incredible. And is this one of the best Rubik games you've seen in quite some time? I mean, Maposhka, again, he loves the hero, but he's making him look like a viable hero that we could see more often.
From a position 5 perspective, 100%. Yeah, like, he's doing a lot. Like, just from the fact that he's got a Blink Dagger and Aether Lance is huge. He's defended top tier 1 tower for a really long time. Afterwards had some clutch plays. Overall, it's not that massive. He stole a black hole and turned the team fight or anything like that, but he's definitely making the hero work in his own way.
What's the avenue back in for Pari Parni? What is the ideal fight that they can get to maybe turn this game? Because it's a 10,000 deficit, so what are we looking for them to take that perfect fight?
It has to come off of some great high ground defense, with Lina dishing out massive amounts of damage with this MKB once it's completed. I don't want to say I'm as depressed as depressed kid, but it's very difficult to see the light at the end of the tunnel for them in this game. It's possible always. Perhaps they stack their stuns on top of TB, kill him off first in a team fight. He doesn't have a BKB, right? He's feeling strong enough. He's feeling like he doesn't need it, which is arguably the case. Let's say Toronto doesn't throw Lincolns on him. He gets a couple of stuns. He doesn't use the Sunder. Maybe you can fight off with that.
You also have the Aghanim Shard on Maposhka, so you have this defensive telekinesis as an option. So that, the Lincolns, maybe if, depends what way he's facing, Mirror can disjoint like a couple of stuns with the cookie, just reposition him out of maybe like the LSA or Bushwhack. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. For maybe, because this is always the beautiful thing about an IO. There's always the threat of a pick-off, but this also has to be props given over to TSpirit. They played a very methodical game where they're making sure no one is split and there's no opportunity for those pickoffs.
It's really hard to split when you're playing versus TB, Lycan, and the Puck with travels. Like, these two are pushing faster than any of your heroes 100%. And then again, you have a Puck that has travel, so he can catch you at any given point with that Dream Call and set up for a defense. So It's not even an easy game to do that, right? But they're doing a good job on staying on the map at least. Like the Press Kid and Immersion, they've spent a good chunk of time in this triangle, farming a ton. Enemy triangle, that is.
And you do see, like, just a read from TSpirit, they do not feel comfortable with going up high ground again. Because you don't want to give that option as... Oh, actually, maybe they see an opportunity to bring down Pasha. The Dragon Knight stepping a little bit too far. You'd expect the high ground to be safe, but not the case. The Presskid's going to try and turn. A lot of damage onto the park, but the phase shift does disjointing the fall from Munkushi.
But wait, the Presskid moved back. Do you think that maybe they had enough damage if he didn't? It looked that way at least. He moved back just before Wraith King went in. Maybe some miscommunication, but still Puck is a slippery one. You feel like you can go on him, he turns, suddenly you lose a full team fight because of that.
And they're getting scouted out with his Observer Ward. It's a beautiful placement. TSpirit just have full control, and they've already got to go back as their top tower is under siege. It's just, you're waiting for Roche, that's it. Because you were mentioning the way that Pari Parni come back into this game is with a immaculate higher ground defense where you blow one hero up. But if you have that second life, there won't be that opportunity. And they see the Presskid emergence really far outside the base. The Relocate's going to be the only way to keep him alive, but it's not even fast enough. It is not even fast enough as Yutora with this butterfly. She's doing way too much damage. They're going to get him on the return as well. There's no one inside the base. Actually, Pasha's going to find his position, but yeah, silence quickly used enough. And both these heroes don't have a buyback.
Yeah, Mindbreaker on Yatoro makes sure that he can't even tether out instantly onto the high ground. Lina was truly the only hero that was defending at any given point. This is Megas. Like, you are not defending this.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Wraith King chilling in the jungle, flaming his team.
Radiant structures.
Don't say that, come on. What's his AC, man?
No, that's not what he's doing. He's like, okay, I'm not coming back. He'll have the AC. He won't have any barracks left, but he'll have the AC at least. I don't blame him, by the way. I'm kidding. There is no way he defends anyway. He goes back.
Well, my first car. Oh no. Instant buyback. I mean, what can you do? Let's see. Munkushi's back, AC, and yeah, they're gonna call it. Pari Parni, they do not see an avenue back into this game. TSpirit just obliterate them. 28 minutes in, no remorse at all with their gameplay. They just look incredibly fluid.
I have to admit, this is the same thing that I do before I lose the game. I buy all the items so it looks like I had a lot of farm in the replay. You know, when you open up the scoreboard, you see, oh, he had Dazzle, Blink, AC, Radiant, something. No, it was a difficult game, like extremely difficult. I have to say that from looking at the two drafts, they needed something perhaps a bit more active on than the Wraith King. Like, just to be able to stop this Lycan plus TB. Maybe something like an Ember, or you know, having 2 or 3 semi-cores instead of Lina, DK, and Wraith King. Perhaps could have worked, but TSpirit, they just had a flawless game. They did everything right. Just completely occupied the enemy side of the map. Rubik was defending that tier 1 on top lane forever. Should not happen. Really well played by them. Looked like they're on TI form once again.
That they did, and this is what a lot of people were looking for as well, just to see how TSpirit were able to come back out of the major. Of course, it's only game 1, who knows, maybe the lads on Pari Parni just turning up another notch and just steamroll game 2. I mean, that is always going to be a possibility, so we'll see. Maybe they can come with a fresh mindset, a different draft, and be able to take TSpirit by surprise, but we'll find out how the draft is going to look after the break.